Hey, what's up, y'all? I want to thank you for joining me for this review. Now, I want to say right up front, this zero-turn mower, I did not pay for this. This was sent to me by Ryobi. And so I've had it now for a few weeks, been running it around, and I want to talk to you about some of the things that I've learned about it, and in the end, tell you what I think about it. I will say right from the hop, the reason I was most interested in a zero turn is because I believe this is where the market is going. I believe the market is open for disruption. I've seen this in the professional side, and now I'm starting to see it into the homeowner side, the DIY side. The battery tools in the last couple of years have made great leaps and strides to really get up right next to their counterparts that run on gas. And when I say right next to, I mean in quality and performance and pretty much everything overall, as well as price is also finally starting to come to where things are a little bit more on par with one another. We'll talk a little bit about that as we go on, but first let's go on to some of the official particulars and things you might want to know if you're considering purchasing this 115 amp hour 54-inch zero turn by Ryobi. So on Ryobi's website, they have listed 6 electric or battery-powered riding mowers. They have 3 of these steering wheel style riding mowers. I always called these rear engine riders. I've never actually owned a mower like this, but I know that with Ryobi, these are actually quite popular. I see a lot of folks in our groups that own them. These come in 30 and 38-inch cutting widths and range from $2,500 to $3,000. To give you some perspective there, a 30-inch Toro Time Master costs $1,350. From there, we have 3 zero turns listed that have cutting widths 42-inch and 54-inch. One thing to note is that the lead-acid batteries in these zero turns are not removable. Inside, there are 4 12-volt batteries in series. The 42-inch has 2 battery options, a 75 amp hour that gives you about 2.5 acres of cutting time, or you can get a 100 amp hour that will get you up to about 3 acres. These batteries power 4 brushless motors. The 54-inch model, which is the one I have here, comes with a 115 amp hour battery that powers 5 brushless motors. The 54-inch can cut up to 3.5 acres on a single charge. Now, this Ryobi 54-inch zero turn retails for $4,999. To give you some perspective there, a 54-inch Toro time cutter with a 24 horsepower commercial Toro engine and the MyRide system goes for $4,399. To give you even further perspective, a commercial battery zero turn by Greenworks that has a 52-inch deck sells for $14,000. Now, when it comes to bells and whistles on this mower, it's actually pretty straightforward, not a lot of fluff. Cutting heights can vary from 1.5 to 4.5 inches. Now, earlier I told you there were 5 brushless motors on here. There are 3 of them that actually power the 3 blades. So underneath there are 3 blades. And so each blade has its own motor. And then the other 2 are back here. These are drive motors, and these power each wheel. Now, in my opinion, the Ryobi delivers a really nice cut. Overgrown St. Augustine grass was not a problem, and I also did some regular cuts over at the church property on the Zoysia that wasn't overgrown, and you can see the cut looks great. I even did some passes running at the full speed, which is 7 miles per hour, and the cut didn't suffer at all. I gotta hurry, we got rain coming in here, but you can see it's dropped down there. So here you go, we were running full speed through here. Cut quality still looks pretty good. I don't see anything I don't like. I mean, I was nailing it too. Overall, for cut quality, which to me is one of the most important things, I give this Ryobi very high marks. You will not be disappointed with the results you get from it. Now, the other two motors, those are drive motors, and there's one on each wheel. At first, when you start working with the unit, it can be a little jerky, but it's not too hard to learn how to feather it. You kind of do that naturally, but it is definitely not going to be as smooth of a turning and moving unit as a gas-powered that's working on hydros and belts and things like that. And I don't know all the mechanics behind it, but the idea is that with these battery-powered mowers, it's kind of when you go, and there isn't a lot of play in between there. But you can feather it and make it as smooth as possible, and the ride is not that bad at all. Now, another big question that I had, and I know a lot of you had, is what about the noise reduction? How loud is this thing? Now, keep in mind that when it's at idle, which just basically means that the key is on, there's no sound. And there's very little sound if you're just traveling without the blades on. So that's a nice thing. The other thing is, though, if you leave this thing unattended with the key on for more than a few seconds, it'll start beeping at you. And I actually left it on in the warehouse one night, all night, and it literally continued to beep all night until the guys came in the morning and they wondered what was going on. So if you leave the key on, it's going to beep at you until you turn it off or the battery dies. One other thing I would recommend is if you're taking it on and off a trailer, is that you use this low speed right here, because otherwise this thing can be real jumpy going up a ramp, and it can give you a little scare. Don't ask me how I know. So by cutting the power in half with that option right there, you're good to go. It's not as jerky, easier to get up the hill. Speaking of the battery dying, what about the battery life? Well, I've actually mowed the Freedom Factory, which is 100,000 square feet, twice, and the battery did not drain all the way down. I still had 20-25% battery life on both of those remaining, and that's 100,000 square feet. I've also mowed the church with it a couple times, and it's not even gotten below 50 doing that, and that's like 30,000 when I double cut it. So battery life so far seems good to me. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't mow that 3.5 acres that they've been talking about, or that they claim. It feels like it would do that without any problem at all. One note, though, the owner's manual does specify that it takes overnight to recharge it. One other thing I found interesting, because for some reason I had it in my head that a battery-powered mower would be a lighter weight mower, but I looked, and this mower here weighs 796 pounds, the Ryobi 54-inch does. A comparable time cutter weighs 657 pounds. So I guess the weight of the batteries is more than the weight of the 24, 25, 26 horsepower engine. Now for just a few quick curious questions that I know some of you will ask. The biggest question is, what about it getting wet? Now the owner's manual does tell you not to mow in the rain, but I was wondering, what if you just wanted to hose it off to clean it? And this is the answer I got. We advise against spraying down the entire mower. We would instead recommend cleaning the top of the deck with a damp cloth if necessary. It is okay to wash under the deck with a hose. Another question I had was about a bagging kit, and apparently there is none available. The third question I had was similar, and that was about a mulching kit, and the answer I got is that it has not been released yet, but it is coming soon, and there will be specific mulching blades that come along with it. All right, well, so far I hope this video has been helpful to you. If it has, please hit the thumbs up button. From here, I want to talk a little bit at the end about some considerations that I personally have when it comes to battery equipment. As you guys have seen, I have been making a concerted effort to start switching over to battery equipment more and more, and pretty much all the weed whackers and edgers that I use now are all battery. I do that because for me, it's a lot more convenient to pop on a battery and go. Now that the quality of the battery-powered hand tools is up right around the same as the gas, I'm losing no quality, and the price is about the same as well. And those are two factors I always think about. If I'm going to switch to battery, and now in this case when it would come to a zero turn, would I do it for two reasons? Number one, I don't want to sacrifice any quality, and number two, I don't want to pay more. So if I don't sacrifice quality, and quality can be defined however you want to define it, and number two is I don't have to pay more, then I'm willing to switch to battery. So the quality, I'm going to say, is about the same. We're very much on par. Now I understand that there are a lot more bells and whistles on a top-end Toro than there are on this model, but I'm just giving you some comparison ideas. But overall, just rubber meeting the road, you know, putting grandma's preserves down on the bottom shelf where everybody can digest them, I'm telling you that the quality is there. They're the same. You're not going to really notice too much of a difference between the two when it comes to the overall use and quality of the mower. So that's good. Then it comes to the price. So it is still apparent that the Ryobi, the gas or the battery-powered mower, is still more expensive than its gas counterpart. Now, you could do comparisons all day long if you wanted to. I just chose to do the time cutter, which to me is like the ultimate homeowner mower. I guess I could have used the Titan, but either way, you understand. So you're paying more for this battery mower for sure, and you're not getting quite the same bells and whistles that you would get on the Toro. The long and the short of it is you're not paying a whole lot more though. The price has become more on par in the last year, I guess, and therefore I think a lot more of you might want to take advantage and jump over to the battery. One other question I do have though, when it comes to the commercial versions, and maybe I'll need to research this a little more, but I'll be interested to know what you guys say. That Greenworks commercial 54-inch, or maybe it was a 52-inch, is $15,000. Now, I didn't do any research or anything, but I'm assuming that the difference in that $10,000, in other words, the Ryobi's what, $5,000, $49.99, and the commercial Greenworks is $15,000. Does that mean that I would, if I was a commercial operator, would I go through three Ryobis in the time that I only went through one of the commercial Greenworks? You see what I'm saying? Where is that $10,000? What am I getting for that $10,000 parity there? What am I getting for that $10,000 in difference between the commercial battery and the Ryobi homeowner version battery? Something interesting, something to consider. So always like to leave you guys with a thought like that, and I hope that you like this style of video, and I'll do some more reviews up the road. Let me know what questions you have below. We'll discuss it. Overall, I do like the mower, and I can tell you that you're going to get, if you're somebody that's looking at a battery-powered mower, you can't go wrong with this one. You'll get good use out of it. You'll get a good cut out of it, and for sure you'll enjoy the mow with it. With that, I'm Alan Hain, the Lawn Care Nut. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the lawn.